All right, so the first thing that I would do is I would go down here to the Windows Start menu or the Start key, and I would right click and I would go to Device Manager. And then once it's open, you scroll down to your sound, video, and game controllers, and you click on it, and you scroll down, and you will see something that's USB. Now, if you have an issue with the audio device, you would have a X or a triangle, and if so, then you can either right click and hit update driver, or double click, then go to driver and hit update driver. Either way, it will work. Then you go to search automatically for drivers, and then if it found the driver, then whatever you had on this, it would turn to a speaker. If you didn't find the driver, then you would have to click back and you go to browse my computer for drivers. Now there's two things. You can either go let me pick from a list of available drivers on my computer, or you can go to browse. First we'll go like this, then we'll go to have disk, then we go to browse, then you go to home, and I would assume that you would have downloaded your audio driver in downloads, and then you go to your audio driver or the folder that your driver was downloaded to, and you look for the INF file extension. Okay, so for example, let me see, let me go to, I gotta figure out where mine might be at. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, hold on. Go to Roland, there we go, here's an example. Files, 64-bit, alright, right there, there's an INF file. Now it could be capital or it could be lowercase. It could be uppercase or lowercase, it doesn't matter. It's still an INF file. Then you hit open, and then it will go and go to install the driver. If it doesn't install the driver, then you go back and you hit let me pick, then you go to browse, and then you would go to wherever your folder is that you downloaded. So me, I downloaded everything in downloads, so you go to downloads, and then you can either leave it in downloads or you can go to that particular file or folder, that you downloaded your driver to, and then you hit OK, and then you hit next, and then it will search for the file and it'll start installing it. But I don't have to do that for me. That's number one. That's the very first thing that I would do. Alright, the second thing that I would do is I would hit the Windows key and I would type in control panel. There you go, CO, it'll say control panel. And you tap, there you go, you select control panel. Then you go to sound. And then you go to recordings. Then you double click. You go to levels. And make sure this is on. Then you click that. Then you hit OK. Alright, that's the second thing. The third thing, okay, is you go up here and you select, well, if yours is up here, if not, then you can go to Preferences and it'll take you to the same thing. Now, yours might be by default, it might be automatically set to the General tab. You just scroll down, go to the device. Alright, now, you got the ACO driver, and I use Magic's low latency 2016. There's Music Maker Audio that is nothing, and FL Studio and all that stuff. But I use Magic's low latency because I use Magic's Vegas for all my audio. I mean my video editing. Then there's the ACO for all. You go to ACO configuration for the ACO for all, and it's the same interface as the Magic's, but I got this set, mine set for 256 on that, but I don't really use it. But you have all these things that are on over here. This is the USB codec, but as long as it's USB, then I got the output, mic input, line stereo, line input, and stuff. That's for my onboard sound card, so that's irrelevant to this. But this is what you got to look for if you're using ACO for all, and make sure that all of those are highlighted. Where it's white if you have ACO for all. Okay, and then you can select the number 5 is your channel, your first channel, channel left. Select that, and number 6, you select that. That's channel right, or your right channel, and then you have for your output. Okay, your output range. It's pretty much the same thing. Your left channel, and channel 7 or whatever, and then your last channel is your right channel. But I have all these channels 1 through 6 because I have a 5.1 surround sound on my audio card. But anyways, so alright, and then you have the FL Studio ACO driver, which there's just one. You select 1 for first, and 2 and 2 or whatever, and then for the output, 1 2 2. I mean, it pretty much knows what it's doing. Then you hit ACO configuration, and you make sure that it's your USB device. This is my audio codec, my little Behringer mixer, and same thing here for the output, USB codec, unless you want your sound card to be output. Alright, let's see, then you can also do direct sound, and you can click for the input, your USB device, whatever is USB. You can do that. Same thing with your output device. Select USB. That should go through your peripheral as well, or your audio interface, I mean, as well. But for me, I don't use direct sound, but you can also use wave out. It's pretty much the same thing. USB 2.0, same thing. Output, 2.0. You can select, your sound card, whatever, if you're going to go straight to your speakers. But this is what I use right here. It works for me. Alright, and then when you arm for record, this is like the last thing, okay? When you open up a new channel, you double click like I did right there, or you can right click and you can hit insert new track. Then you arm for record, okay, and let me hit that right there. There you go. And then you first you go to that, make sure that that's set to record input, and then you can either do mono, um, USB audio codec, whatever you can do with that, or which I like to do is stereo, um, and USB, because that does my stereo left and right channel, because it's, see, you can hear this USB, um, test 1 2 test. All right, you can use that. But some people, they just use that right there, and it's still the same. You can, you know, and same thing with, 2, whatever, still the same. But stereo, you do like that, and it has left and right. You see the left and right peaks right there. It's mostly for if you have, like an interface that has multiple channels, um, and like a 18 channel, like my Tascam, so you can have 18 literal tracks. Um, and but if you do it like mono, then it's like this. When you're doing like test 1 2 test 1 2, you can see it's got just like one line, the peaks right there. But if you're doing, let me say this right here. Then if you're going, for example, um, if you select it where it's USB, um, codec 1 and 2, then 1 2 test test 1 2 test 1 2 test. All right. Now you can see right there where it's got it left and right peaks. Left and right peaks. 1 2. All right. Well, that's about it. I hope it works. Whoop whoop.